Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Under the Scope podcast. Sorry, let me go ahead and get this started again. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Under the Scope podcast. Today, we're going to be introducing a new member of the community, someone that was introduced to us by Fez herself, LHR. And so, what's up, Kyle? What's going on, Fez? LHR, live or die. So, we'll bring them in a second. But again, I wanted to make sure, like I always do, what's up, Hobo Bird? That, we kind of introduced the podcast, what we're trying to do here, and what this podcast is all about. So, this podcast was created with the intention of being able to give people an outlet to be able to tell their stories. As many of you know, and we continue to talk about this in previous podcasts, is that there is nobody really telling the story of any of those new up and coming streamers, gamers that really just stopped in 2015 when everything just changed for the community. When it went 18 and over, big organizations started happening, the Overwatch League, the Call of Duty League. And so the bigger influencers are still the ones that get all the FOMO, if you will. And so because of that, I wanted to ensure that we created Under the Scope podcast to be able to tell everyone's stories. So hey, what's up, Wolfman? Hey, we had some follows even before we got started. So thank you so much for the follows, everyone. Appreciate it. So anyways, without further ado, welcome to the chat, Wolfman. Welcome to the chat, Alice, LHR. So without further ado, let's go ahead and I'm brother. I told I'll be here. Sounds good. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and bring in LHR. Let's get to know who he is, who he really is, and how do you come up with that gamer tag? So like we love telling those stories. So give us a second and we'll bring him in. Hey, what's up, LHR? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Another Friday, another podcast, and I'm excited to learn a little bit about you and for us to be able to tell your story. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the podcast. Appreciate you being here. Like I said, we love telling people stories. We've heard you're our 10th episode, so big milestone already. It's been crazy the past few weeks. It's been a lot of people jumping on and wanting to tell their stories, and that's so huge thanks to Fez for helping us out, making sure this happens. So thank you, Fez, for that. Appreciate you. And there's a lot more coming, so just hang tight. But anyways, getting back to you, LHR. I always ask this question to get started. So where did you get the gamer tag?
Let's see. All right. Well, LHR actually has its own personal meaning. It's loyalty, honor, respect. The whole name has a meaning to it. It's loyalty in life, honor and death, respect the living, live or die. It was all one thing. It came from a military background. Originally, my name was because it gives you like a random name when you first start out, and then you change it on your own. It was actually Cooker Sphinx, which was kind of funny.
Wait, what was it?
Cooker Sphinx.
Okay.
And then I just kind of switched it to LHR Live or Die just due to my own personal background. I always got called, a cheater or this or that. And I was like, hey, you're either going to live with me or you're going to die with me. Your choice. So it just kind of stuck from there.
So, I mean, honestly, that's an awesome story. I'm telling you, I've heard some really good stories, and this is just another great story of how the gamer tag came. So I heard military background there. Are you military yourself, or is family, or?
I was a Marine sniper back in 2011, 2012. I was injured, got discharged on medical discharge, and actually, a funny story about that is I became partially colorblind due to the accident. So I don't see blues and greens.
Okay.
And it actually, a bunch of my friends have told me it's a cheat code. So if you ever like go into like a game like Madden or basketball and turn on the color blindness for Tritanatopia,
Yeah.
you'll see your skin color looks like you're an Oompa Loompa. was what people tell me. So in like Call of Duty games, your skin is highlighted for me. So if you're wearing a mask that shows even like a little bit of skin underneath the arm or on the neck or something, I see that little bit and it literally highlights you on my screen for me.
Oh, really? Well, that's how I play though. I'm not colorblind. I'm blind a little bit, but I'm not colorblind. But I'm gonna tell you, I use it. I That's exactly what I use. Since Warzone 1, I've been using it, which is crazy. But and the reason why I say it's crazy because I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's why I use it because you're able to tell any little bit. It like shines out, man. It's crazy. It's like wearing a diamond. So you could get spotted from everywhere. Well, listen, man. First of all, thank you for your service. Okay, that's in first and foremost. And I'm sorry you got injured, but I'm glad it looks like you're doing good. And so luckily, like you said, you're here, you're alive, and so again, thank you for your service. And let me hold on. I'd like to catch up a little bit. So like I said, we'll edit all this out, but what's up, Swervin Irvin? Welcome to the chat. I was supporting my brother. That's good, Wolfman. Appreciate that coming in. Valhalla to Death Fest. Alice Chainwreck, yes, thank you for your service. All right, there you go, man. So let me ask you, who is behind the gamer tag? Who is behind LHR Live or Die?
A little kid that was adopted that grew up in a family that we were pretty distant apart from each other, so we never really spent a bunch of time doing things. I was always out in the woods doing my own thing, and then I had an older brother. His name was John, and he was like, "Hey, I got this PC. You wanna come watch me play?" I used to sit there when I was 6, 7 years old, just watching my brother play for hours on end. He was Counter Strike, Age of Empires. It wasn't World of Warcraft back then; it was Warcraft back then. And I would just sit there and game. It just became an interest after a while. And then he finally started teaching me little things about how to do this. He was the only one that I was allowed to play. He wouldn't let any of my other brothers play. It was just me. He'd get mad. And when they all ended up moving out of the house, it was just me left in the house. And I kind of needed something to do because you're so used to being around brothers and sisters for 16 years of your life. And then they move out. And I picked up gaming and was like, I'm just going to keep doing this and keep doing this. And I started getting really good at it. I went to a lot of tournaments through, what was the name of that company? Play and Trade. They used to do a lot of tournaments in North Carolina, and I would go to them and just have fun, relax. Because every time I watched somebody who was like, "Oh, I'm going to do the best I can," they were trying too hard, basically. They'd always end up losing on a dumb mistake. And you see these other guys, they'd sit there, they'd be all relaxed, and they're doing just fine. So I learned that I needed to be relaxed when I was doing stuff, and it became a hobby. I met so many friends through it. It was ridiculous. Still, like Wolfman and Swervin and them, I've known them for 12, 13 years now, I'd say, something like that.
That's a long time, man. That's amazing. Now, did you compete with them as well? Were they like teammates of yours, or you just met online?
Okay, so me and Wolfman, back then his name was Wolf God. He's switched now to Fenrir. Me and him competed. Swervin, we never competed, but we've done a few tournaments through what me and him have through the Warzone tournaments. I can't remember what website we used, but me and Wolf competed in Black Ops 2 days. I ended up going pro for a little bit. That was fun. I mean, the enjoyment I had back then doing that. We became pro as a group, and we went pretty far, but nationals just wasn't ever a thing for us back then.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. You said you did it with Black Ops 2. Is that where you went pro?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, funny story about that is that I don't know if you remember a team by the name of Mutiny Esports, but I own co-owned Mutiny Esports, and our team, we had like 3 Call of Duty teams. You know, back when everyone had like a bunch of them: FaZe Red, Black, and FaZe, you know, whatever, and then Optic and Optic Nation, all those guys. And so our team ended up going with Advanced Warfare, actually, as a matter of fact. But in Black Ops 2, we also beat Optic in the days, and we took the online championship. But in the LANs, we lost to Optic, and then who they lost then to it was a different name. It's not even here anymore, but it's anyways, it'll come to me. I'll remember. But they lost to Luminosity. So Luminosity is still a thing, but there was another team that beat them and ended up taking them, and that team has since gone. But we competed a lot, and we used to go with UMG events and MLG events. And so our team ended up going to Columbus, Ohio, where we ended up playing, and we lost to Envy there. And that was a big fuzz when, again, since you were in the Call of Duty scene, you probably remember, I don't know if you remember a guy by the name of Nelson and a bunch of other Call of Duty players, that there was a big fuzz about, and it was S3 relegation. And so that was our team that was involved in all that gossip, because we ended up taking a teammate that was a random, and that teammate ended up throwing the matches for us. And so it was a sad day, man, let me tell you. But I missed the whole competitive scene, man. And you saying that just brought back a lot of memories, just because we used to have a lot of sponsors that we used to try to pick up as many players as we could in a lot of teams. We ended up with 5 different teams, from Black Ops to Advanced Warfare, before everything changed from that, went to Xbox to PlayStation, and they ended up going 18 and over only, if you remember that. But it was great. I remember them a little. It's been years. It has been years. It's been a long time, Wolfman. That's for sure. But that was our guy.
Y'all know who you probably don't know the name, but MEA, and they were with Vanity.
Yes, I remember them.
Okay, that's who we played for.
Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, so there was a and I don't remember the guy's name, but he was a kind of really heavy set guy, and they used to do jerseys. Do you remember those guys?
Heavy set guys that used to do the teal looking jerseys.
Yeah, they used to do all the esports jerseys, and they were like actually really cool. They were based out of, I forgot where exactly in the East Coast, but then they went under, and they didn't show up with like 100 orders for teams, and they just disappeared. But that guy was, I remember, he was part of that tournament, and we were there supporting him, and that's where I met all the people from that organization you're referring to.
I think I know what you're talking about, because if I remember right, they fell off just due to they were just having like their own legal disputes between each other, and they wanted to go certain directions, and some guys wanted to go other directions with it, and they kind of just split up into 2 different companies now. Because we were sponsored by Amp Energy Drink back then.
Yep, I remember Amp.
And they don't sponsor people anymore. I can't get a sponsor through them to say anything.
You know, a lot of the energy drink companies went away, especially now that you have like these bigger ones, right? Like Celsius, G Fuel. G Fuel's always been here, man, and they've been there, and they're gonna continue to be here. I think there were the guys that made our jersey. Potentially, they made a lot of jerseys, man. And let me tell you, they made so many jerseys. So they could have been it. If I remember the guy's name, I'll mention it. But they also had an esports team. And so that's why I was trying to remember who they were, because they used to put every which, I'm telling you, like the last time they didn't show up to the competition with 100 teams jerseys. I mean, there was 300 teams that used to show up to these Call of Duty events. And so it was 100 teams with no jerseys, and these guys didn't show up. It started with an R. I don't know if you remember. I know it started with an R, and it was a big, heavy set dude. Oh man, now it's going to kill me. Uh,
It's going to kill me. The only thing I can remember is I'm thinking of his name was Jose Riviera. That's the only guy I can think. No, not Riviera. What was it? No, Jose something. I have him on my Facebook. I still have friends with him. Um, he's the one actually helped me get the new jersey that I have now. That I've been trying to incorporate, getting my own brand out there. So he helped me with that one. But that's Jose. He was part of that uh, organization. He was one of the guys that split off from him.
yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, like it's just so much has changed, hasn't it? I mean, just think back then till now, a lot has changed.
A lot has changed just due to the fact of, I mean, back then I felt like it was more competitive back then. Now you're getting obviously it's still as competitive, but there's not a lot of people. You get to a certain stalemate in gaming where you're stuck at a same level and you can't progress any further because there isn't something out there that's going to help you get better at the game. You got to physically learn to get better at the game. Whereas, you got people who use controllers. Once you've mastered the controller, like people start doing the claw where they put their hand on the joystick or on the R1 and R2 and they claw it to where they can hit their triangle and stuff like that. You only can go so far with a controller, and then you got your PC people. I think it's got to the point where everybody's at that stalemate where it's like they're not progressing, they're just staying at the even slope. And I think that's where the competitiveness has dropped off because everybody's just they're stalemating and they're not getting any higher. They're just staying where they're at.
And you're not wrong. I mean, and by the way, Wolfman, no, it wasn't rivals. It was someone else. Um, and like I feel like his name is in the tip of my tongue, so it'll come out. But Fez says MNK all the way, cough cough. But
She's mad that I play on the controller and she'll beat her.
all right, hey, I play on a controller as well, so but no, and you're right. And so a lot has changed. And one of the things, and gaming has come a long way, Olaf, but I believe it's come in the wrong way. Before it was all about the gamers, the competitions, and everything. Everyone was focused on that. Now everyone's focused on just content creation, and and there's no, and it's sad to say, but the communities from before where there was clans, like true clans, is I feel like it's not here anymore, man. We're missing that. That's really really missing from the whole picture. And I think if the games and Activision, everyone can figure out a way to get that, clan versus clan and all that back, and allow for amateur competitions to happen where they're pretty much gone right now. They're being done by third parties. Then you'll have an explosion back of a lot more competitive gamers again.
Completely agree with that because I've been running the same group, the same clan. I mean, we've switched names and departed a few times, and but we've kept basically the same group of people. We've been clan, and the whole clan wars thing stopped happening. Really, I want to say Ghost is where it kind of just fell off, and that was where I was like, okay, Call of Duty's starting to go on a downfall a little bit, and that's when we, as a clan, switched to Rainbow Six Siege. We got really good at Rainbow Six Siege, but I've always said that we need to keep the clan together. We've become a family, but the clan thing is if we could bring that back, that'd be great and awesome. But you said that a lot of people focusing on content creation and stuff like that. I see it more as a lot of people are focusing more on the money than they are of the gaming aspect of things. We play games to relax ourselves and to have fun, and people have taken it to a little bit more seriousness where obviously we can make money through streaming and stuff like that, but if that's the only mindset that you have to stream or get your name out there, you're not going to go anywhere because you need to create a community that understands that you can have fun, you can joke around. And I think that's where people are kind of falling off is they're so set on that mindset. I want to make money through gaming, not I want to be a good player and actually show my talent.
I agree. I agree, honestly. And I think that, like I said, somehow, one way, shape, or form, a lot of the gamers from old school gaming to now, we kind of had to pivot drastically to that scenario because and honestly, there's, even if you don't want to pivot, I've seen where even the bigger influencers that have been here, like you look at the Nick Mercs, the Tim the Tapmans and everything, they chat with people, they kid around, but at the end of the day, that whole, feeling welcomed into their community is gone, man. Because they're so big, it doesn't matter. You're just another person. You're just another number, another sub. And I really believe that that's all gone. I mean, you look at Nick Merce, his gauntlets are done. And again, nothing. I mean, that's his own money and great, but he also had sponsors and everything, and that's all gone as well. And so there's not a lot for the communities. And so I'm hoping that a lot of the people we talked here at the podcast at Under the Scope, they want to build communities. They want that kind of back. Without them saying they want it back, they're focusing on growing that community like you just spoke about. And so I think that you're on the right path. You guys have your community, you have your clan, and there's other people that want to feel part of that type of group. And I think that I hope and really what I'm focused on is that this podcast allows people to be able to communicate with each other and see that, hey, you know what, we really do want the same thing. Why don't we try to work together to build a community where we can all accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, and then help each other out to get to where we need to get. So let me ask you, so you've been in the gaming, you've been a pro competitive player. What is it that you're trying to do? Obviously, you stream. Am I correct?
Yes, I do stream.
And so first of all, let me ask you, how long have you been streaming? And then what is your goal that you're trying to get to?
Technically, I've been streaming for 3 years. Let me see. My biggest, I've had somebody following me since the beginning of since I got my sub button. So he's at 30 something months. So yeah, 3 or 4 years I've been streaming. I did a little bit on YouTube, but YouTube was never really my thing. My goal is I want to teach people what I know. I've actually been a part of a few organizations to help coach Call of Duty teams, Warzone teams. That's what I want to do. I want people to understand the knowledge that I have and understand how to get better at the game. I'm not. Yeah, I people love my gameplay. People come into my stream for my gameplay, but I've also gotten messages from some of my viewers saying, "Hey, I've gotten better just by watching you." That's what I want. I just want people to come in and learn. The more I can help out other people and get them better, the happier I'll be. And that's the whole point that I want to get across, is just to teach people. And it's not even just Call of Duty. I do it with Dark Souls, Bloodborne. I mean, any game really. It's all about teaching people how to get better at games. And I think what the problem nowadays is, especially in a lot of these games, there's skill gaps that people don't see. A lot of TikTokers and high-end streamers say there's no skill gap. Problem is, there's actually a huge skill gap, and people don't know how to adjust to it correctly. And that's why I've been trying to help people adjust to seeing that skill gap. And hey, now, especially with Call of Duty and all the weapon tuning you have, this matters. And because it works for a pro player does not mean it's going to work for you. And we got to find the adjustment for you. Well, I'll have people all the time come to me, "Hey, what's the build for this gun?" All right, well, I'm going to tell you the build for this gun. I'm going to tell you how I tune it, but let's adjust it for you, because I can control my recoil better than you, but I don't know how well you can control your recoil. So I'm going to sit here and watch you for a little bit, see how you can control your recoil, and then we're going to adjust your build off of that. So that's what I want to do. I want to sit there and be like somebody you can come to and be like, "Hey, I saw this TikTok build. Can you test it out for me and give me hints of what would make it better for me personally?" Not just take that build and run with it.
And honestly, I think there's a lot of need for that. And it's funny because, the last episode, the individual, or 2 episodes ago, I'm sorry, the individual wanted to help people mentally, right? Like he wanted to be there for people. So it's everyone wants to be there for people and help out people, but everyone has a different way of approaching it. You know, your approach is much more different than anyone else's that I've talked to so far. And it's great because let me tell you again, I own teams. I know what it is to have to coach them and improve, you know, and when they were the daisy chains, if you remember those with the Astro headsets, and they allowed coaches to stand behind their players, I was that guy wearing the microphone, like, hey man, let's do this, let's do that. Hey, you're missing the point here. You missed that line, that lane there, you know, and hey, you got to rotate sooner, all that, right? Like all that comes into play. Like, and people don't realize how much it is, especially now, like you said, with all the adjustments that you can do to all these weapons, to the barrel. I mean, every single piece of a weapon, you know, it's like your, like you mentioned, you're right, your sniper, man. Like you got to adjust for bullet velocity, the humidity, you know, wind, all of that, right? The how far your target is. Dude, it's like now it's that you have the experience more than anyone, you know, and so you're able to help them with that, and so that's awesome, man. Honestly, that is great. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to work out. And I'll tell you something. We are actually working on something called Totally Gaming Academy, and I've brought this up before, but I will tell you, our Totally Gaming Academy received a $500,000 grant in Chicago to be able to teach kids how to really game. And so we have esports coaches, like we are also teaching them editing, and we're teaching them how to set up networking and streaming at the same time. We're teaching them finance, legal, and everything. And honestly, LHR, based on what I've heard, I you know, let's talk offline a little bit about what we're doing and see how maybe you can fit into the entire picture of what we're trying to accomplish. Because honestly, what we're trying to do long term is to be able to bring the education not only physically, but we're also building the online platform for it as well, including AI into it. So the way we want is someone to teach the AI what it needs to be looking for. And so I think that would be a perfect opportunity for us to talk about what you're trying to do to what we're trying to accomplish. So if you're open for it, man, I'm more than willing to talk offline. So
I'm more than happy to talk offline about that. You mentioned something earlier about, you know, my sniping background. I actually let a lot of my friends be the snipers when we play. They'll run the sniper. I won't run the sniper. Um,
uh,
it comes down to I know I can be that sniper, but hey, if I can teach you to understand the sniper just as good as I do, then I can be your rusher and I can be your spotter at that point in time because the sniper always has a spotter.
yeah,
And we worked many times. I had this one guy I used to play with all the time. He plays with me occasionally now. He's got family things going on. We always were a duo, and we won I don't know how many games just because he would just be sniping and he would listen to what I would tell him that, hey, this gun's bullet drop. If you're aim, you know, ping before you shoot, see them. And now they got that scope. I'm sorry, I hate
oh,
that scope, but
yeah, I know. It
uh,
tells you the bullet drop and where to shoot and every aim and all that.
I hate it. It
Yeah.
it's I the, as soon as I saw that scope, the first thing I said is we're dumbing down sniping at this point in time. We're making it easy. I understand the point of making it easier for some people that don't understand it, but that's a little too easy. Um, oh, how was I going to put that? You you can make it easier for people in some sense, but when you have a scope that literally says that's never been in Call of Duty in any way, shape, or form, I'm sure it's been in other games that tells you the bullet drop on the gun and where it's going to be. Um, it dumbs it down to a sense of where people rely on that too much. So when they actually have to use a regular scope because they're picking it up off the ground, they don't know what they're doing and how to properly adjust. That's the problem I see that in the future of those things. And yeah, like Wolf said, other games help you get better at certain games. So like
Yep.
Siege helped us get better at Call of Duty because you worked as a team for so long in Siege, then you're coordinating together, you're doing pushes together, stuff like that. Battlefield, you want to work on your sniping, go to Battlefield, pull it into Call of Duty what you learned from Battlefield, and you're going to become even better just because the knowledge from other games. And I think that's where people fail. They stick to that one game and they just keep playing that one game over and over again. But if they would go to other games, they would get knowledge from that game, bring it back to the game they're good at, and realize, oh no, we're getting better at this game because of this other game. So I'm going to test out some other games, you know?
No, absolutely. And you guys mentioned Battlefield. I don't know if you guys remember someone by the name of Anarchy Uprising, but Anarchy Uprising is a good friend of mine, and he was ranked number one for 3 years straight in Battlefield as the sniper. So,
Um, as in like the anarchy, the whole clan in Battlefield Anarchy.
Anarchy Uprising was a guy that wore a mask when he played.
Yeah, I could have sworn he created a Battlefield clan or group
Hmm.
or like his own personal. Yeah, because I still play with Anarchy Soldier, who played with him, and a few others. There's like 3 or 4 of them on my list that I still play with. I don't play with him though, but yeah, I mean they still grind Battlefield even though they've said I don't know how many times they messaged me, man, I really hate Battlefield 2042,
Yeah.
even with what they're doing. And I think where Battlefield 2042 messed up, and a lot of games are going to mess up if they decide to do this, is adding bloom into the game when it comes to a first-person shooter.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's it. Anarchy. I'm in his Discord, and there's a bunch of people that have Anarchy something on there. So yeah, that's them. So I actually helped him fix his Discord. We were working on it, and everything's like Anarchy's army, and so he has like, instead of the bots, we named them like Sidewinder. There's generals, lieutenants, everything that has to do with military. So it's kind of cool. But again, he actually when we were talking and looking at him play, it's amazing, man, because some of that bullet drop from Battlefield 4 that you started seeing, man, it was amazing how it just hit those shots from very far. And so there's a lot that determines how you become the best sniper for Battlefield in the world. And let me tell you, there was a guy that was above him, but he was caught cheating. So that guy got debunked, and then Anarchy became first. And so they took away his titles for all 3 years because Anarchy was not cheating. It was that other guy that was on top of him that whole time. He was finally caught cheating, and he was reported. So yeah, man. So it's, you're right. Everything has happened differently. Everything changes, and so, but I like where you're heading. I like what you're trying to accomplish. I think there's a big need for what you're trying to do, and again, I think there's a lot of opportunities to be able to get that done. So yo, B Rabbit TV, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. So, but yeah, man, I really do think that, again, where you're headed, what you're trying to do, it's great. And and again, I hope you get it done, and we'll talk offline definitely more about it. So I as a streamer, I know you kind of mentioned where you're trying to go, and so what is it for you? Is it coaching is really what you're trying to do ultimately, or is it building your community, coaching, and also becoming a streamer, creating content? What is it that you're really trying to accomplish here?
So I have the name Norse Gaming. It's underneath my name legally. No one can take it from me and stuff like that. I did all the paperwork and stuff like that. I'm trying to make like some type of gaming company to help people who want to become pros get out there. I want to create a company that allows me to. Okay, so I have 2 names underneath me. I have Norse Gaming, which is the company name, and then I have like Team Sinister. Well, with that team, I can put these people on that team and be like, well, I'm going to promote you, get you to these tournaments. I'll
Mhm.
help coach you, and we'll go through this. That's what I want to do. I'll help you get to those steps to become that pro. Obviously, you don't really see people, 30 years old or your age, still doing the pro circuit. And I think that's good but bad. I still say that, a lot of these pro players you see they're 28 years old, they typically stop playing. And keep playing. If you're good, you're good. Don't let the age define you. And that's what I want to show. I want to prove that even though I have a bunch of 30, 40-year olds or, still playing with me that are great, even at that age, we can still go to these competitions and still win. I want to prove that to the world that it doesn't have to be this set in stone thing where, oh, from the age of 18 to 28 is like your climax of gaming and your peak of gaming, where you shouldn't, after 28, you shouldn't be doing pro circuits anymore. I mean, if you look at like League of Legends, World of Warcraft streamers, especially pro League of Legends player, I think there's a 45-year-old, 47-year-old pro League of Legends player
Yeah.
that's still destroying to this day.
Yeah. There's, and what's amazing to me, one of the things that I always, again, and I'll go back to Anarchy Uprising, not because, he's just my friend, but at 21, he was invited to Geneva to get trained with Synaptics. And I don't know if you guys know what Synaptics is, but if you look it up, they're the glasses that trains cognitive training, right? And I think I told this story before, but at 21, he tied for third place, and they train you against every other athlete out there. That includes baseball, basketball, Formula One race driving, all of that. And then fast forward, to 31 years of age, he actually tied for first place. So his, cognitive training that he was receiving professionally improved his reaction time. And I've told people before that have been in the other podcasts that your reaction time doesn't start dying down until the age of 39. So technically, that's why Formula One race drivers have to have the fastest reaction time. And there's a 38-year-old, Formula One race driver, and they retire at 39. Or they do their 39th year and then they retire right after that because they start declining. So crap, I got 2 years. Yeah, Kyle, I'm way past that, bro. I'm 2 years past that. But but yeah, so like I said, man, there's a lot that people just don't understand because they don't look at stats. All they look at is the player that retired because they said they were too old. And I think that's where we're stuck. And so there's education that needs to be done still with the gaming community. So again, what you're doing is great. I love it. I wish you really a lot of luck. And like I said, we'll talk offline about that. So
You want
anything
a
else?
trick about helping your reaction time? Do what I do every day.
All
Before I
right.
start gaming, I take a little bouncy ball. It's about yay big around probably. And I'm chucking it against the wall as hard as I can. And I'm not looking at the ball. I never look directly at the ball and where I threw it. I'm wanting to see out of my peripheral vision where the ball is going to be, and I try to catch it and throw it back at the wall. And I constantly do that just because a lot of people, when they're working on their reaction time, they're looking straight at the object that they're bouncing it against, and or reaction time with a baseball or basketball, stuff like that. They're looking at it. If you look away from it and use your peripherals, that even helps in gaming because a lot of people they have the issue of getting tunnel vision, they get so tunnel vision on everything that's right in front of them. They're not seeing out of the peripheral vision that there's a guy moving to their right. And being able to sit there and do that training constantly and you swap sides, right? So if you start out with your right side, then you go to your left side. And it's helped me kind of keep my reaction time where it was and also improved it a little bit just because of the fact that I noticed the smallest little detail of a movement just because I've trained myself that, oh, something's moving out of the corner of my eye. I need to kind of look over there real quick. So you do that quick glance to look over there, you see it's a person. So when you're gaming and you get that tunnel vision where you're just looking straight down the scope and you're not paying attention to your surroundings, I've seen friends of mine and other streamers, they get so tunnel vision that they're so focused on the one person. And it's like, well, you're fighting a team of four. Where are the other three? This is stuff you got to think about, stuff you got to maneuver yourself around and understand that it's not all about that one fight. You got to think in the bigger picture of how am I going to maneuver myself or put myself in a position that's going to help my team. And it just comes down to like your brain process. So if you can sit there and get to the point where your peripherals can process that there's smallest movement and you glance over it, that's perfect, and it helps just improve your overall gameplay in general.
That's actually great advice, and honestly, I think I play with a lot of people that do that. So, uh, hey, adios. Thank you for stopping by and and checking us out. So yeah, man, I honestly I do believe that there there's a lot that goes with that, and again, I play with a lot of people and I see those people make that mistake of they're just focused on that one person they're shooting, and so there's a lot that goes with playing, and I think at one point or another we all make the mistake also of like we're shooting at one person and we're all facing that one person and we get shot from behind, or right. And so there's so much you can teach people that want to be taught, though. That's the other key. You can teach those that want to be taught, and those that don't, you can try and to make it fit how their playing style. But yeah, man. So it's been obviously educational, very fun. Thank you for obviously again the opportunity. Is there anything else that you would like to for people to know about you, LHR, that we might have not said yet?
Well, this is something that a lot of my community members have understood, and uh, you talked a while back about that guy who wanted to be there to help mentally for people and stuff like that. Um, and I don't think people understand how real that is. I'm uh, just a month ago, I had a surgery that removed the last part of the cancer that I've been dealing with, and I have 2.5 months left of chemo as a recession to finish. Um, and I've been dealing with that for almost 2 years now. And I don't think I would have been where I'm at physically and especially mentally if I didn't have those friends around me. It was mainly gaming friends that I went to and talked to and got supported by. And there was times where I couldn't play certain games and they would be like, hey, well, let's play this game because I know you're still good at this game. And the fact that they were there willing to be there for me, you got to find that group that's willing to do that. You can't just, if you're constantly in a situation where your mental health isn't that great, look to your gaming friends. I don't think a lot of people realize that if your gaming friends are really as friends as they say, they're going to be there. And all mine were, and it was the help I got from them was tremendous. It's something that I think that everybody should strive for, is getting that community to be that way. And everybody looks at it as, well, this is just somebody I game with. No, make that person your brother, make that person your sister. Get to know them as family. Once you get to know them as family, you'll see that it opens up so many other doors to other situations that are so helpful to you and them mentally, physically. Just it helps calm you down. It's the way, and obviously you can see them saying Norse family for life. We are a very Viking related clan.
Well, let me tell you, man. First of all, you know, uh, it's actually honestly great to see that you have a great community and great group of friends. I can't say it enough. It really does matter, this great group of friends. And what's crazy is one of the things I've learned, again, I'm 41 years old, and I grew up with five best friends, and honestly, I only talked to one because we grow out of our of what we had in common when we were kids. And as we start growing, you start meeting your grown-up friends, right? Who are your ride or dies, if you will. And so I've met a lot of awesome people too through this gaming community. A lot of people that I still talk to for now over a decade in the gaming, that I feel I've known them forever. I've been there for them, they've been there for me, and it's just a different feeling, man. I don't even know how you explain that. It's such a big bond when you have that community with you, especially going through what you're going through, man. I'm glad to hear that everything's, your surgery went well, and I'm gonna keep you in my prayers, man, that everything continues to go well, and in the next 3 months you'll be in remission, and you'll be starting to actually continue to plan out your life and everything, man. Honestly, man, like I said, I just lost I lost my father 2 years ago, and shortly after that, my my godmother, his sister-in-law also passed away, and she passed away from lost her battle of 11 years with cancer, and so I know it's very difficult, but you again, man, I think you got it. You know what you want to do, man. And honestly, man, I cannot see, anything else now than seeing you a year from now where you're at, with all this that you're trying to do and with the group of people that you have. And not only that, but also with the new people that have now seen, and the people that will hear your story, man. I really think you got a motivating story. I think you're trying to accomplish something great. You're trying to do good for the community. You've always, again, we appreciate what you've done. You're serving the country, and everything you've done for the COD community, because there's nothing, man, that honestly that sucks more than not having someone to turn to when you're going through what you're going through. And I'm telling you, because I haven't had what you've had, and I'm not going to compare to it, but I've been in surgeries, man, where there's nobody there, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy that I would expect my friends to be there, my life friends, but instead of the people I grew up with, I had all my gaming buddies there calling me like, "Hey, man, you doing all right?" Like, they check up on me, and that's crazy, man. I've never experienced that until now with gaming, and so I honestly, if you guys haven't been part of a group or part of the community, I recommend you guys start looking into it, because it's really different, you know. And I'll tell you a little bit something here, but yeah, man, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for the prayers and the condolences, man. I will say something. Today I talked to in LA, I spoke to the Science Center, and they one of the questions they asked me is, um, how do how do you how does gaming, what kind of data is there that shows gaming helping psychologically, what kind of proof is there that you have? And luckily, I've collected data in the past, because we've done tests, we've done high school esports leagues and everything, and so we were able to show them, and they're going to build an exhibit, and so we were I was invited to be part of it, just so you guys know. So I'm gonna be part of building that exhibit that in 2 years will be at the Science Center in LA, where the space shuttle is, showing everything that gaming has done for that has to do with STEM related, robotics, arts as well, but also how it helps people mentally. And they want to put a program together of being able to do that for the LA community, and that's what we're doing in Chicago, man. But that's what I'm saying, man. Listening to your story, it just I just want to let you know that it's needed, it's really needed, man. And so I'm glad that you accepted to be here, because it just proves that this community does more than people realize, And so I'm glad that you're here telling us your story, and that you actually opened up. I know a lot of people that I've talked to, even in the last 9 episodes, I could tell, a little resistance from them opening up on how the gaming community really helped themselves when going through bad times, right? And you know that. I mean, people ignore that. They don't want people to know, but it's actually not a bad thing, man. Recognizing that the people in your community and your gaming community really helped you, when you needed it. I think there's no shame in that.
So, like you were saying, like, but I try to be as open as I can, especially with my own community. You said 2 years ago you lost your father, and I'm sorry to hear that. I actually 2 years ago as well lost my stepdad and my father 2 months apart. Um, we I said earlier I was adopted, and when I turned 18, um, did my service, and then I was 20 when I got out, and I came and met my biological mom, and she was with my stepdad, and he's a huge reason why I got great at like Dark Souls, World of Warcraft. He was all the RPG games. I was usually normally just a shooter person. He taught me everything about World of Warcraft to the point I got better than him, and our clan was like it was top 5 in the server. And it got to the point that when he passed away, that my biological family, because they didn't raise me, they'd known of me for a little bit, right? And
Yeah.
they kind of disowned me. They left. They don't talk to me anymore, none of them, except for one of my sisters. She says hi every now and then. But when that happened, it hit me hard, because it was like, y'all are supposed to be family. And I turned to Wolf, I turned to Adios, Rabbit, I turned to all those guys and was like, hey, I need help. I'm struggling. And those guys, man, they stepped up. They really pulled through for me. And I think that people need to learn. Oh, man, I'm trying not to tear up.
Hey, man, listen, bro. Someone's cutting onions up in this house, because damn, but hey, listen, man, take your time. I want you to get your point across. Fest is all love, man. Just take your time, brother.
I want to help grow this community more for them than I do for myself.
And that's not a bad thing to have, man. I'm gonna tell you something, and I tell this to everyone else. All right. Sometimes we forget, okay? In family, you know what the craziest thing is, and you just talked about it, but I don't talk about my life too much. People know that. They know what I want them to know, right? They don't know everything else that goes on. And again, but family is tough, man. When my father died, I thought I knew my aunts and uncles and the rest of the family, man. Trust me, you don't know family until they want something, and because that person's no longer there to claim it, and that's the hardest part. And it's the amazing part is it's the individuals that you think and I don't want to say it in the wrong way, but that they're in the back of your mind, knowing that they're there, but you don't know that they're going to be the ones that come to the front and actually take ownership of helping you get through certain situations. And that is really, really the toughest part, that we as individuals have to go through when there's losses. Sometimes friends are more family than blood. That's the truth, man. I'm telling you. Listen, man, I think, but I guess what I was going to, man, is that you also have to do for you, and a lot of the times we forget that as individuals. Everyone here, it doesn't matter. I guarantee you, if we really looked at it and we paid attention to how much we take care of ourselves, we will see that sometimes we put more effort and trying to help other people. Not that it's a bad thing, but we also have to be able to understand that we need to be able to take care of ourselves to be able to help others, right? Everyone knows that saying, right? The more you help, the better you help yourself. The more you help yourself, the better you help others as well. But reality is that sometimes we're not strong enough to help ourselves, and the people that come into our lives are the ones that help us gain the strength to be able to not only take care of ourselves, but also kind of pay it forward, if we will, and help others, right? That were in similar situations like us. And so, listen, man, I honestly think I from the bottom of my heart, man, I thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I think, you left a lot to be said, and there's a lot of I'm serious. I think we could keep going for hours and just keep talking. And I really want to welcome you back. We're going to do some sessions with Fez and other individuals where we just jump in and we just talk about random stuff, man, in a podcast, and so I really would like for you to come back on and chat with us and bring your community and everything. I will tell you that has helped me through my mother's cancer. Yeah, Wolfman. Yep. It's amazing, man. I'm telling you, You know, it is amazing what, you know, and I don't know, man. I don't even know what to call it. Like, I don't want to say real friendship because, you know, there's friends that we have outside, but just gaming, you know, gaming itself is so different, man.
Like gaming itself, so when people get on the game, that a lot of people, they get on the game to relax themselves and get away from what is going on out in the real world. And I think it gets to the point that these people that are your friends on gaming, because they're trying to escape things in their own life that, or situations that are going on around them, you connect at a much deeper level, in my opinion, than somebody that, say, if I was to go to the bar and go have a few drinks and talk to somebody that I meet, I'm not going to get that same connection, just because, to me, gaming friends are more open about things going on together, and you see another side of people when you're gaming, whereas out in public, most of those sides are hidden. They're hiding themselves. Um, and I think that's where gaming kind of has a step above other situations when it comes to understanding each other, is that side comes out that you're not going to see in person. And that's just generally true, that, as open as I am at through gaming, in person might be pretty quiet at first, and that's the thing. That's just how it goes. um, and I think that's just, something that gets overlooked sometimes.
it really does. It really does. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. We tend to open up more to the people that we feel most connected with, and for whatever reason, times have changed, and you know, and Wolfman saying like, you know, screw drinking at a bar, pretty much is drink with the gamer fam type deal, and reality is that that's what it is for a lot of us now, man. You know, our gaming family is means more than sometimes than, like you said, your real family, right? Or even your blood family, and or those acquaintances that you knew, because at one point or another you start saying, hey, I know that person, right? But it changes from friendship to I know that person, or there were an acquaintance. But the gaming community, the gaming family has stuck around for such a long time, and it continues, man. And let me tell you, it's like once you build that bond, it's really, really hard to go, man. You know, and so it takes a lot for people to go, and the people that do go, man, it wasn't meant to be, you know, and that's a fact about anything in our lives with people that come in and out of it. But well, man, listen, man, I honestly, again, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. You know, where can people find you if they're looking to be part of your community?
Uh, on my Twitch page, I have a link to my Discord, and we welcome anybody. The only thing, obviously we ask for is we want the drama to stay away, because, not like, not your own personal life drama, like
Yeah.
we're there to help and talk with you if you want to talk. We're talking about, don't start drama with somebody else in the community. But I have a link to the Discord in on my Twitch page, and we're more than happy to have anybody in there. The whole point of our Discord page right now is to help grow others. We, as a community, have just we've sat down. I mean, I have 4 leaders, 7 advisors, and I never make a decision by myself. I have others people's opinions, because I think that's the best way to do it. We've tried it before where I make all the decision myself for the community, and I was like, no, it don't work, because I'm not seeing other
Mhm.
perspectives of other things and stuff like that. And I think that's what helped us the most, is getting those multiple perspectives and stuff like that. So yeah, Discord would be the best way. I mean, my Facebook's also linked to my Twitch as well, so I have no problem if they hit me up on Facebook as well, if they want to link to the Discord through that way or something like that, or just want to play with me sometime. Um, we're more than happy. I'm more than happy to play any game with people. Division, Destiny, Fortnite, not so much, but I'm willing to play it.
I was like, I even turned like, what, Fortnite? All right, like people
I
still
got
play
paid
that, but
$20 to get on Fortnite to stream it, so I streamed it and played it. I,
oh
if it's no build Fortnite, I'm okay. If it's build Fortnite, don't ask me to do it.
yeah, yeah, no worries. Wolfman, yeah, man, it's okay, but for some reason the Stream Elements doesn't allow you. So what I'll do, Wolfman, is that we'll go ahead and LHR, if you want to DM me your Twitch link when I put the video out, I'll add it to the descriptions of the video. So this way people can hit you guys up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that.
All right, don't forget, man, because everyone's told me that and no one sent me links. So the videos get put up, and if I don't have it, I don't have it. So, but yeah, man, if you guys want to send me the link, you guys could whisper it on Twitch as well. So my whispers are open. So you guys are more than welcome to do that as well.
Wow. And I'd be happy to be back for more of these.
Yeah,
I do a lot of research when it comes to games.
okay.
More than happy to talk about the research that I do. Like obviously, Call of Duty just came out with a new update. I was at work and I help people with mental and physical disabilities. And they don't always need my help. So I'm sitting there for 2-3 hours, normally watching TV unless they call for me.
Yeah.
I spent, let's see, I worked a 3 to 10 yesterday. I spent 5 of those hours literally reading the patch notes and trying to fully understand what the adjustments were. And I saw people posting TikToks. They nerfed this, they buffed this, they did this. And I was like, those weren't nerfs and those weren't buffs. If you read it correctly, they adjusted everything, but it didn't really change the meta of anything. But everybody thinks it's going to, and I do that with every game I play. So, World of Warcraft, Destiny, Division 2, any game that I have on my system, I'm going to do that type of research for.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like I said, we're planning to have more of a interactive, kind of this type of talks that we had, and so we'll make sure that we send you, Fez invites you when we do, so you could come join us, and that's really what we talk about. We want to chat about just the community, pick some games, some topics, and then I told Fez she's in charge of picking the topics, and Skitty 84 Gaming, they're in charge of picking the topics, and we'll make sure we jump in, discuss them, and if anyone else has anything else that wants to bring in, so like you get invited and you say, hey, we should chat about this. Hey, man, let's do it. So again, the more information we're able to put out there, but the main thing is just to have a good time. That's really what it is. Have a good time while providing some information that's valuable for people, that are going to watch the podcast. So, but
well, yeah, if people don't see you joking around and having fun, they're not going to want to be a part of it, So like the more serious you are, I mean, yeah, there's times to be serious, but there's also times where you got to be chill, relaxed. And I think that's one thing that, like I said, I've actually watched 2 or 3 of your videos. Fez sent me the link. Thank you, Fez, by the way. And I think I watched it recently, and I like your content. I watched you play Overwatch too, because you're so joking with things. You're not always serious, and that's the best way to be. If you're always serious, people don't want to watch that.
I'll tell you though, Electro gets on me. One of my mods and friends, he gets on me, man, because I'll be so joking that I forget about chat at times. So he gets on me on that, and he's always playing. Now I think if like now I put like tell me something, it's fantastic, So
I did have one personal question for you, if I can ask it, if that's okay.
Ask it, man.
Okay.
Hey, Silver Sniper
You have a
underscore.
scar?
You have an incoming message from Silver Sniper
do.
underscore. Thank you.
Can I ask what it's from?
Yeah. So a couple of things. One, when I was about 5 years old, I was sitting on a big cinder block wall, and I was pushed off of it, and so I landed on my forehead. No joke. But I put my hands, but it was like a 12-foot wall where, the momentum, I still was able to, I wasn't able to stop myself, from hitting the floor with my forehead. So I ended up injuring there. And the other thing, I did boxing and martial arts. So at one point or another, I got a cut there. And so they redid surgery on it. So that's why when the first incident happened, you'll see like I have that scar here. And so you could see like where I actually cracked a piece of my forehead there, my forehead bone. But when I was little, and so then they just redid it when I was boxing again and doing martial arts. So, but yeah.
I saw it and I thought about it because like every RPG that I can customize my player, like I'm playing Wild Hearts right now. That's what's on that screen right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take that scar that you have, and that's what I put on my character. I always have a scar that goes across my nose in some, or like near my eye in some way, shape, or form. I've always, I don't know if it sounds bad for me saying this or not, but
No.
I thought that scar has always looked cool. I don't know why, but
Hey,
personal, I
hey,
guess.
man, I'm just gonna start adding some shadow and then just keep going down, So when I'm playing, just Scarface or something. Your Scar's badass. I know it's a story that's behind it. I don't even know how I remember the story still, but God of War Scar, right? That's what it is, right?
100% God of War scar, yes.
Oh man, no, but yeah, man. I'm like I said, man. If people ask, I tell them. If they don't ask, I'm that guy too. That I'm a really reserved guy, but I love having fun, man. I love joking. Back in the days, I grew up in LA, man. You used to. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this term, but bagging on people. You ever heard that term where you just go at it on each other?
Oh, I've heard that term.
See,
I've,
and so I used to do that, man. I take nothing, sticks and stones, baby. All right, so it's just roll off the shoulder, roll off the sleeve, whichever term you like, So yeah, man. No, man. Thank you for asking the question.
Yeah, no problem. And also, I forgot to mention this earlier. Our Discord is sponsored by No Name Nerd, who created the jersey that I'm wearing currently, actually. And this is kind of something for everybody. It's not just for me. It's for everybody. If you want to start creating your own team, this company will do it for you. They'll create your jersey for you, and obviously you're going to pay for it. But I got a sponsorship through them where if y'all want a team jersey, we'll help you get the discount on it. We're not going to make you pay full price for it. And I think that's helped us as well, dealing with them. And I think that the more people that can get sponsored by people, the better for the community in general.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man, absolutely. And like I said, right now it's all raw footage, but I'll make sure I add that into the video as well for you, man. All right. So this way, if you need I know it helps out, man. Trust me. Any promotion you could do for the people that sponsor you, it's always a great thing. So I'm more than happy to put it on there as well. So. But man, listen, I appreciate it, man. We've been here for over an hour. This is great. Normally my conversations are over in 20 minutes. So it's been a great, I got a lot of editing to do,
4
folks.
hours if you need me to.
I know. That's what I was saying, man. Like, I got my stand-up desk. I'm getting tired of being standing up, So no, I'm kidding. But no, man, it's honestly like it's been very educational as well to learn about it. And I think you got a great story, man. And I can't wait to edit this and put it online so that people can actually look at it and watch it. So I'll make sure that Fez gives you the link once I put it on. I'm going to drop one of them tonight that we did last week. And so that's gonna be up today. And then I have the other one that we did on Monday. It'll go up tomorrow. And then we'll have yours on there by Sunday as well. So I'm just doing a bunch of editing this weekend so I could get caught up with everything.
We should get in a duo stream sometime in Warzone, see how we do together.
Hey, I'm open to it, man. Skitty and I normally do that too. And we just flop, bro. We just like,
We'll think about inviting Fez.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Fez. Jeez. Now, Fez is a horse of a different color, So she brings all the fun. Damn, what you mean, wow?
I was streaming last night on Wild Hearts, and I get a message from Prez on Discord. Hey, come join the voice chat. I'm like, I'm streaming. She was like, oh, it'll be okay. We're just drinking. I'm like, oh Lord.
Mistakes were made.
Dude, as soon as I joined the party, all I could hear was the bot blasting music. My whole stream heard it, so I had to go into it real quick, turn it off, and I'm like, oh man. Should have been warned on that one.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, listen, man. Any last words for stream, YouTube?
I appreciate you all, and I would love to continue to build this community the best way we can. All help and advice, it will be heard We won't turn down anybody's suggestions or anything. And I just want to thank, Norse Gaming for being there in my hard times, and for understanding, this thing it takes time. And I thank you all.
All right. Well, you guys heard it. Skitty, thank you for the 31 months, brother. Damn, it's been that long, huh? Jeez. So, but yeah, LHR, man, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your time, man. Again, we're going to go ahead and edit this and make sure that, it gets edited and put up there. And I'll make sure you get the link by, latest Monday. So appreciate you, man, for your time. Thank you again, man. And we'll definitely, you're in my Discord now. So, we'll definitely get some games. Just let me know when you're on. I right now, for some reason, my schedule's just been all over because of all the projects I'm a part of, but I try to get in the mornings. And then anytime between like 12 and 2 p.m., I play again a bit. And then I get back on in the evenings as well if time allows. So
If you don't mind DMing me a link to your Discord, and I'll
Okay.
post it to mine, and my people can join the Discord.
Okay.
Or if you have it in chat or something, they can click on it. But
Yeah, exclamation point Discord. So
more than happy to get them in the Discord as well. They're a great group of people. I mean, they're all over the place. They're very funny. They joke about a lot of things. Make some crude jokes sometimes too, but hey, it is what it is.
hey, man, listen, we're grown folks here. I think we could take it. So, but listen, man, again, we appreciate you, man, being here. Thank you so much for your time. We'll go ahead and let you go, and then we'll wrap up the podcast. And then, yeah, man, let's go probably rate someone if you guys are down with that. So,
Sounds good. Y'all have a good one, guys.
all right, man. See you, man. Thank you again. All right, everyone. Yo, man, that was great. That was awesome. I enjoyed it. LHR, man, appreciate you taking the time again to come in the podcast and really talk about it, man. Listen, I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people have emotions and they put everything into it, but today was a little different, man. I got to admit it. I felt a little different. LHR, you really opened up to us and the community and to everyone that's going to be watching this video. And I think people are going to genuinely, understand where you're coming from and how great gaming's going to be. Gaming can be, I should say, the community, especially if you have the right individuals surrounding you. And I think, as more and more stories come out like yours and people continue to open up as well as you did, I think the more the people that don't understand really why we game will start to grasp a little bit more of, hey, there is a safe haven. There is a way to be able to talk to different people the way we can't talk to maybe our loved ones. And so I think there's a lot that goes to be said based on today's interview with you, man. So I really appreciate it. And again, guys, thank you for tuning in on this 10th episode of Under the Scope podcast. And we'll see you on the next episode of Under the Scope podcast. All right, guys. Who are we rating? Great episode. That it was, Kyle. That it was. So, yo, man, thank you for 18 plus streamers. Wolfman, you're already in the Discord? Yo, Wolfman, thank you so much, man, for getting in the Discord. Alice Chain, Wolfman, Adios, Fez, Skitty, Kyle, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. Swervin' Irvin. I think he said good night already, but good night, brother. All right, so who are we going to raid today? Huh? And then I'm going to take a little break, and I'll probably be back and play some games. But who should we go and do a raid party for? We got 10 people in here, so we can definitely do something cool. Good night, me. Oh, wait, I thought you were already saying good night or something. My bad, man. Swerving Irvin. Horror T, he's on? All right, let's go. All right, everyone. We're gonna show some love. Let's see. Let me get my stuff ready, guys. Let me get my stuff ready. All right, everyone. Take care. Thank you, my dude. Hey, adios. Thank you, guys. Let's go ahead and make sure we let it be known we're coming and we're here. All right, man. We're getting ready to go over. Looks like we might be taking 10 viewers. Let's go, guys. That's what's up, man. LHR, you got a great community, man. Continue to take care of yourselves and each other, man. That's what it's all about. All right, man. Let's go ahead and go over. I will see you guys a little later.
But we do like, I mean, the time difference hasn't hit me very much because I stopped streaming so many hours and I started streaming less hours. I need to get a gun, man. What? Where was he? In the corner?
I don't know where he came from.
I just looked there. Damn. You wanna go? You wanna go to bed? You can't go to bed with no kills. What's up, Shorty? How are you? Yo, Silver Sniper! Yo! Not that one. Yo, thank you for the raid, brother.
Could you
What's
be
up?
mine?
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome in.
My neighbor.
How was your podcast, Silver?
Yo, man, thanks for the follow,
Yo, there's
everyone.
Fez.
Appreciate you guys.
What's up,
All right,
Fez?
man,
Thank
you guys
so
go
much
enjoy
for the
horror.
follow. How are you? My name's Horde T. That's me. We don't have a stream room. It's just white walls. Welcome in. Hey, for my sake, we
That's
just
what's up,
moved to Tennessee.
Have a good one. We'll see you guys later.